For the rafter portion of this, you're going to start and you're going to put the front and the back trusses up first. This is the only two that it matters, but the gussets need to face in so that when we put the siding up on the outside edge, it's not up against that. So you're going to put both of those up, and then you're going to put a nail in the peak and run a string down it. You want to make sure that it's a little bit high so that as you're moving the trusses apart back and forth, you're not catching the string and pulling it one way. The blocks are pre-cut so that you can put the truss and nail the block. You want to try to keep everything nice and tight. So, toe nail it in place. You can nail it through the face. And we're going to do the same thing with this one as we put it in place. After we get the rafters up, the next step is to put our fascia up. So there's two cut pieces. One is short and a long. You're going to start with whichever one you want to. We started with the short. Keep it the same on both sides. So you're going to split the truss that it falls on, but you're going to use this to draw a line from the truss down to the outside edge, and that's where you're going to line it up. So you're not necessarily going to worry about how much space is here. As long as it splits this truss that it needs to be on, that's where it'll end up. So we're going to go ahead and put the last one on. And you're going to just line this first part up so it's nice and flush, and then we'll use the speed square to get it to where it needs to go. Bring it up. Up. The rafters up, we're getting ready to put the roof sheeting on. So what we have kind of switched to is we started with the shorter of the two pieces for the fascia. Keep that the same, so we're going to use the shorter of the two pieces of plywood. So this is the shorter of the 4 foot wide pieces. You're going to put that up, try to put the factory edges together in the middle. So this is not blue, it's cut. So put those to the outside edge. When you get these up, it's going to split the same truss that the fascia split on. If for whatever reason this hangs over or this is longer, we can snap a line and we can trim that up later. So the main thing is to get it correctly on this stud so that it falls right. And what you're going to do is you're just going to put nails down through the front. You're going to make this edge look straight, but you're only going to nail there. We're going to wait to nail up the rafters until we can get in there with a level and make sure that those rafters are standing straight up. So we're going to put the second sheet on now. So like we mentioned before we get done nailing these up, the rafters, I want to come in here with a level and make sure that this rafter is straight up and down. Sometimes it'll be tilted one way or the other, and that'll mess up where the sheet falls. So just come in here with a level, and then go ahead and tack it down for me. Once you do that on the one side, it carries over to the other side, so it really just has to be done once with the truss is on this side. The other side's fine then.
What we're just trying to show here is how the last pieces go on. So the more narrow pieces go along the top, and we want to offset those. So there's the long seam, and then there's the seam there. Offsetting that on a different rafter and not a straight line gives you a stronger roof. It helps break up the load so that it's not all on one rafter. And then we're just nailing it, putting two, one at the top and one at the bottom. If you want to, you can put a third there in the middle, but just nailing that off. Again, trying to split that same stud, or splitting the stud that it falls on, and then if we have to, we can dress up that outside edge, either snapping a line or just fixing it with the fascia.
All right, for the last part of the roof, you want to put the fly rafters on before you get the drip edge on. Otherwise, there's nails poking through it around the edge that makes it difficult. So basically, these pre-cut pieces, they're just for decoration, they're not structural. So you want to line it up in such a way that makes it the easiest. So like this isn't flush with the outside edge, but it matches the part down there, and it's going to match this side. So we've got this side up, basically just nailing it through the top. You can come back and then put a nail in the outside edges, but one thing you want to make sure of is that it's together at the peak. If there's a little bit of a gap on the wings, it's not a big deal, but you want to make sure that this peak looks good. So we're going to line this up and fasten it off. Can you get it from there? Because you got to pull it way up. So for the gable end siding, we pre-cut the pieces. They're going to seam here in the middle. You want to put those in place. You want to line up the grooves, and you can nail along the bottom and up along the edge. So you want to do this part before we put the fly rafters in like we did. Otherwise, it's really hard to hit that stud up there as you're nailing it. And then we're going to put a piece of trim over top of this and caulk all the way along the top, and it's going to cover that seam for us.